Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022. Welcome to day 519. The January 6th committee will delay its public hearings for several weeks, citing new evidence. Since the hearing started, the committee has obtained footage from a documentary filmmaker who followed Trump and his inner circle for almost a year, as well as additional Trump White House emails and records from the National Archives, new interviews and depositions, and information left on investigators' tip lines. The committee was expected to hold its final hearings by the end of June, but instead the sessions will resume in July, following Thursday's scheduled meeting, which will focus on Trump and his allies' efforts to pressure the DOJ into helping them overturn the results of the 2020 election. Chairman of the January 6th committee, Benny Thompson, said later at least two are planned for next month, starting the week of July 11th, after the House returns from its two-week recess. Meanwhile, the Justice Department issued subpoenas to people in at least two states as it expands its January 6th investigation into efforts by Trump supporters to undo Biden's electoral victory through fake electors. Federal agents issued subpoenas to Brad Carver in Georgia, an attorney who claimed to be a Trump elector, and Thomas Lane in Virginia, who worked on the Trump campaign's efforts in Arizona and New Mexico. After leaving the Trump campaign, Lane went on to work on the Republican National Committee's election efforts in Virginia. Separately, some of the would-be Trump electors in Michigan also received subpoenas. Back in D.C., the Senate advanced a bipartisan gun safety bill, clearing a procedural hurdle to take up the compromise measures before the 4th of July recess. Roughly a third of Senate Republicans helped advance the package, which House Republican leaders have formally opposed. Democrats, however, control the House and will likely pass the bill without Republican support. Moving on, Biden called on Congress to temporarily suspend the federal gas tax of 18.3 cents per gallon for 3 months to give Americans, quote, just a little bit of breathing room, end quote. Biden also asked states to suspend their own gas taxes and urged oil companies to increase refining capacity and to pass every penny of their savings on to customers. The administration estimates that consumer savings would be around $1 per gallon between the suspension of the federal and state gas taxes and an increase in refining capacity. The move, however, is unlikely to have support in Congress that it needs to pass. And economists have criticized the plan for suspending the gas tax since the federal road and highway programs are funded through fuel tax revenue and the relief to customers would be limited. The federal gas tax represents less than 5% of the total cost for a gallon of gas. And finally, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell acknowledged that higher interest rates could lead to a recession, saying the central bank is not trying to provoke a recession, but that it's certainly a possibility. Powell, addressing the Senate Banking Committee a week after the Fed ordered the largest interest rate hike since 1994, said the Fed was, quote, strongly committed to bringing inflation back down, adding, quote, we need to get inflation back down to 2%, end quote. The Consumer Price Index in May increased 8.6% over the past year, the highest level since December 1981. Economists, meanwhile, put the odds of a recession in the next 12 months at 44%, up from 28% in April. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.